You know, we every month love to come to Singing River Health System and check out all the wonderful features that they have, the new programs that they have, and find out information from the doctors on the latest technology. Well, there's something brand new at Singing River Health System that we wanted to talk about today. And it's right here at Singing River Hospital, and it's called the Baby Cafe. And Tina, who is a registered nurse here, who is over the Baby Cafe, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. First of all, before we talk about the Baby Cafe program here at Singing River Health System and the hospital, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I am a registered nurse, and I'm also an IBCLC, which is an International Board Certified Lactation Consultant.
Mouthful.
Yes, absolutely. It is a mouthful. I graduated from nursing school in 1998 and immediately started working in pediatrics. And then my husband and I moved down to the Gulf Coast in 2002, and I started working in a neonatal intensive care unit. And my husband and I started having our own babies. And I breastfed my children. I have 3 children, and just became really good at helping moms with babies. I would come to work and there might be a patient that was having trouble with breastfeeding, and the other nurses, well, okay, Tina's here, she'll go help that mom. And so that kind of grew into continuing education about breastfeeding and supporting mothers in breastfeeding, as well as volunteering with a local community breastfeeding support, which is La Leche League of Ocean Springs, Biloxi. And that grew into becoming an IBCLC, and I love helping mothers and babies get a good start after birth with breastfeeding.
Would you say that, years ago, when we were babies or whatever, there was more of the breastfeeding going on. Then there was a time when, they really didn't do that. Do you see more mothers coming back to doing that nowadays?
Absolutely, and the Centers for Disease Control actually tracks that information. So they go state by state and look at how many mothers are initiating breastfeeding, how many mothers are breastfeeding at 3 months, at 6 months, at 12 months, and every year we see those numbers rising, including in Mississippi. I was just reviewing those numbers this morning, and I was really happily surprised with how those numbers have been increasing.
Now, why is it healthier for a mom to breastfeed as opposed to feeding with formula?
Absolutely. So breastfeeding protects both the mother's and the baby's health. When a mother provides her milk for her baby, her milk is full of live active substances that help to keep her baby healthy. That's full of antibodies, immunoglobulins, white blood cells, as well as thousands of other live substances that we just really cannot replicate in a laboratory into formula. So breastfeeding protects newborns and babies and children against respiratory illnesses, gastrointestinal illnesses. It lowers a baby's risk for SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome. It lowers a baby's risk for obesity later on in life.
Really?
And also lowers a child's risk for cancer. Breastfeeding also protects mothers. So we know that when a mother breastfeeds after she delivers, during her pregnancy, her uterus was growing and expanding with, her growing baby. And then once her baby is delivered, that uterus has to contract back to its pre-pregnancy size. And breastfeeding helps that to happen. So the breastfeeding hormones cause her uterus to contract, which also helps to slow down the amount of blood that she loses after delivery. So mom has a lower risk for postpartum hemorrhage. Breastfeeding also protects mothers against metabolic disease. So mothers who breastfeed have lower rates of high blood pressure, diabetes. It protects mothers against cancer, against breast cancer and ovarian cancer. We also know every drop of breast milk that a baby gets is good for both mom and baby, but we also know that breastfeeding has a dose-related response, which means the more exclusively a mom breastfeeds and the longer a mom breastfeeds, the greater the benefit. So all of those risk reductions that I just talked about, the more exclusively a mom breastfeeds and the longer that she breastfeeds, the greater the risk reduction for those diseases.
And for what length of time is usually a good healthy time for a mom to breastfeed?
Absolutely. So the American Academy of Pediatrics, which is the professional organization for pediatricians here in the United States recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of a baby's life. For the first 6 months, all that a baby needs is his mother's milk. And then around 6 months, mothers can start introducing solid foods and, drinking from a cup. And so the AAP recommends breastfeeding for a minimum of a year with continued breastfeeding as long as mom and baby desire.
Tell us a little bit more about the Baby Cafe and
Yes.
what they do here.
Absolutely. So we're working really hard at Singing River to support moms and babies in breastfeeding and get moms and babies off to a good start with breastfeeding. We want them to be successful after, a mom delivers her baby here. We, moms run into, troubles, or maybe not necessarily troubles, but questions or special challenges after they go home. And sometimes there's a lack of support there. A mom may have delivered and maybe her mom didn't breastfeed her, or her sisters didn't breastfeed. She may not have, friends that breastfed. So the Baby Cafe is a place.
And it's a free service.
It's a free service for pregnant and breastfeeding mothers. And it's a place where moms can go, where there's trained staff that can provide community support for breastfeeding. So at every Baby Cafe meetup, we have either a lactation consultant, an international board certified lactation consultant, or a CLC, which is a certified lactation counselor.
And of course, looking at the sheet here, weekly group meetings are the first and third Thursday of every month from 6:30 to 8:30, and the second and fourth Thursday of every month from 6:30 to 8:30.
So actually, our meetings are the first and third Thursday of every month from 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I was
and
gonna say,
then
that's late to have them babies up.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we really try to vary the time so that 2 Thursdays out of the month we have a morning time, and then 2 Thursdays out of the month we have an evening time, because we know that moms are busy. We know that moms often go back to work, earlier.
Within a few months, yeah.
Yeah, early, or her partner goes back to work. They may have one vehicle, and so she's waiting for dad to get home to give her a ride, or another support person in her home to give her a ride. So our goal is to make this as accessible to everyone, to every mother.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tina, thank you so much. Very, very informational. Again, if you want some more information about the Baby Cafe here at Singing River Health System, go to the website. It's chock full of all kinds of information, not only about this program, but about so many other wonderful programs that are beneficial for you, whether you're a patient or a member of your family. Again, more information about that through Singing River Health System, go online.